The summer heat in suburban Chicago was unrelenting, but nothing compared to the fire that ignited when I dove into the Thompsons' pool that afternoon, thinking I was alone. As I surfaced, water streaming down my face, I locked eyes with Mr. Thompson, my best friend Mike's dad, standing at the edge, his gaze piercing through me like he'd caught me stealing more than just a swim. In that split second, my heart raced not from fear, but from a forbidden spark I'd buried deep for years. I froze, treading water as Mr. Thompson, John, as he'd insisted I call him since I turned 18, crossed his arms over his broad chest. He was in his late 40s, with salt and pepper hair and the kind of quiet authority that came from years as a high school coach. Mike and I had been inseparable since freshman year, spending countless weekends at his house, but I'd always kept my distance from John, afraid my lingering stares would give me away. "Alex, what are you doing here?" His voice was steady, but there was an edge, like he knew this wasn't just about the pool. I pulled myself out, dripping onto the concrete, grabbing a towel to cover up. "Mike said it was cool if I came over early. He's running late from practice." It was a lie. Mike had no idea I was here. I'd texted him about hanging out, but the real reason was escape. My parents' endless arguments at home, the pressure of college apps, and the secret weighing on me like an anchor. Being gay in our conservative neighborhood wasn't something you shouted from rooftops. John nodded, but his eyes didn't leave mine. "You know the rules, no swimming alone." He paused, then added softer, "But I get it. Sometimes you need space." We sat on the lounge chairs, the sun drying my skin as awkward silence stretched. John handed me a soda from the cooler, his fingers brushing mine, sending a jolt through me. I'd crushed on him since I was 16, watching him coach Mike's games. His commands firm yet kind. But he was married, divorced now actually since last year, and straight, or so I thought. "How's senior year treating you?" he asked, leaning back. I mumbled about classes, but inside, turmoil brewed. Why am I here? What if he suspects? The thought terrified me, yet thrilled me too. As we talked, the conversation deepened. John opened up about his divorce. How his ex, Mike's mom, had left for someone younger, leaving him questioning everything. "Makes you wonder if love's even real," he said, his voice cracking slightly. I nodded, my own secrets bubbling up. "Yeah, or if it's worth the risk." Our eyes met again, and for a moment, the world narrowed to just us. But then Mike's car pulled into the driveway, shattering the bubble. I panicked internally. What was that? Am I imagining things? As Mike bounded over, clueless, I forced a smile, but the seed of something dangerous had been planted. That night, lying in bed, I replayed every word. John's touch, his vulnerability. It felt real. But he was Mike's dad, twice my age. Society would call it wrong, predatory even. My mind raced, "You're delusional, Alex. He's just being nice." Yet, a part of me yearned for more, for someone who saw beyond the facade. The next day at school, Mike complained about his dad's moodiness post-divorce. "He's been weird lately, staring off into space." I feigned concern, but guilt gnawed at me. Was I the cause? Or was this my chance to feel seen? Over the next week, I avoided the Thompsons' house, but fate or stupidity intervened. Mike invited me for a barbecue, and there was John manning the grill, his smile warm when he saw me. "Glad you could make it, Alex." Throughout the evening, our glances lingered too long. When Mike stepped inside to grab drinks, John leaned in. "About the other day, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable." My heart pounded. "You didn't." Lies. It was the most alive I'd felt. As the night wore on, guests left, and Mike crashed early from too many burgers. John and I ended up cleaning up, the kitchen light casting shadows. "You seem different lately," he said, drying dishes. I hesitated, then confessed a sliver. "Just figuring stuff out." He set down the towel, turning to me. "Like what?" The air thickened. Inside, conflict raged. Tell him? Risk everything? But his eyes held no judgment, only curiosity. "I'm gay," I whispered, the words tumbling out. Time stopped. John's face softened. "I know, Alex, and it's okay." Shock hit me like cold water. How? He shrugged. A father's intuition, maybe, or just paying attention. Relief flooded me, but so did fear. What now? He stepped closer. I've been questioning things myself. The divorce. It opened my eyes. My mind screamed, this can't be happening. He's Mike's dad. But my heart whispered, finally, someone understands. We talked for hours, sharing stories, his repressed feelings from youth, my isolation at school. It was cathartic, but dangerous. As I left, his hand on my shoulder lingered. Be careful, kid. Kid? That stung, reminding me of the gap. The following days blurred into a whirlwind of texts. Innocent at first, about books, movies, then deeper. Ever feel like you're living someone else's life? He'd message late at night. I'd reply, pouring out my soul. But guilt festered. Mike's my best friend. If he knew. The thought twisted my gut. At school, rumors swirled about a teacher caught with a student. Age gap, power imbalance. It mirrored us too closely. Was John using me? Or was I the one chasing a fantasy? One evening, I snuck over while Mike was at a game. John answered the door, pulling me inside. We need to talk. His voice was urgent. In the living room, he paced. This, whatever it is, it's messing with my head. Mine too. I admitted the crush, the confusion. He stopped, facing me. Alex, you're young. You deserve someone your age. Rejection? But his eyes said otherwise. What if I don't want that? I challenged. Tension crackled. He sighed, sitting beside me. Society won't accept this. Mike won't. Truth bombed my chest. Yet, in that vulnerability we connected deeper, sharing fears of judgment, loss. As we spoke, emotions surged. John's hand found mine, a simple touch igniting fire. But we pulled back, knowing the line. Inside I warred. This feels right, but is it? The age difference, the secrecy, it screamed wrong. Yet, his understanding healed wounds I'd hidden forever. Leaving that night, doubt plagued me. Am I betraying Mike? Or denying myself? The secrecy ate at me like acid. Every stolen glance at school with Mike a reminder of the betrayal brewing beneath. John's messages became my lifeline. Yet each one deepened the chasm in my conscience. Can't stop thinking about our talk. He'd write, and I'd stare at the screen, heart aching with a mix of joy and shame. Mike noticed my distraction during lunch one day. Dude, you've been spacey. Girl trouble. He grinned, clueless. I forced a laugh. Something like that. Inside, turmoil boiled. How can I lie to him? He's like a brother. But admitting the truth? Unthinkable. That afternoon, I met John at a coffee shop outside town, away from prying eyes. He looked weary, lines etched deeper around his eyes. This is risky, he said, stirring his black coffee. I nodded, but my pulse quickened at his proximity. We delved into heavier territory. His marriage, how he'd suppressed attractions to men for decades, fearing it would destroy his family. I loved my wife, but it was never fully me. His voice broke, and I reached across the table, our fingers intertwining briefly. Electricity shot through me. I get it, I whispered, hiding who you are. It's suffocating. But as we parted, a woman from church recognized him, her smile faltering at seeing us together. Paranoia set in. What if she suspects? Rumors in our tight-knit community could ruin everything. Back home, my parents' oblivious questions about college graded. Any girlfriends yet? Dad asked over dinner. I mumbled no, but inside screamed. If only you knew. That night, alone in my room, doubts flooded. Is this love or infatuation? John's experienced. I'm just a kid. The power imbalance gnawed. Society's warnings echoing. Older men preying on youth. But John never pushed. It was mutual. Still, the internal conflict raged. You're fooling yourself, Alex. This ends in heartbreak. The next encounter escalated the drama. Mike had a party at his house, seniors celebrating midterms. I went, heart in throat. John was there, playing the dutiful dad. But our eyes met across the room, charged with unspoken words. When the crowd thinned, I slipped into the backyard, needing air. He followed. "We can't keep doing this," he murmured, standing too close. "Then why are we?" I shot back, frustration bubbling. His hand grazed my arm. "Because it feels real." In that moment, vulnerability peaked. We shared a hug, brief but intense, his warmth seeping into my soul. But Mike walked out then, beer in hand. "What's going on?" His tone was light, but suspicion flickered. We jumped apart. "Just talking college advice," John lied smoothly. Mike bought it, but I saw the doubt. Later, in the guest room where I crashed, insomnia hit. What if Mike finds out? The friendship shattered, family torn. Yet, the pull to John was magnetic, promising acceptance I'd craved. Days later, confrontation loomed. John called me over while Mike was out. "We have to stop." His words sliced. "Why?" I demanded, tears threatening. "Because I care about you too much to hurt you, or Mike." Emotion choked me. But ignoring this hurts more. We argued, voices rising, him citing age, society, me pleading for a chance. In the heat, he admitted, "I feel alive with you, Alex, for the first time in years." My heart soared, then crashed. Was this manipulation or genuine? The argument ended in stalemate, but the seed of doubt grew. At school, an assembly on healthy relationships hammered home red flags. Age gaps, secrecy. I internalized it. Am I the victim here? But John's actions screamed otherwise, patient, respectful. Still, societal pressure weighed. Gays already face hate. This would amplify it. Internal monologue tortured. "You're selfish, risking everything for a crush." Then, a twist. Mike confronted me privately. "You've been weird around my dad. Anything I should know?" Panic surged. "No, why?" He shrugged. "Just a vibe." Relief mixed with guilt. How long could I hide? That night, texting John, I poured out fears. "What if we're wrong?" His reply, "Maybe we are, but denying it feels worse." The emotional intensity built, tearing me apart. As weeks passed, our meetings grew furtive. Park benches at dusk, whispered confessions. Each deepened the bond, but amplified conflict. John's ex called stirring old wounds. "She wants reconciliation," he confided. Jealousy flared in me. Choose her? Safety over us? But he chose honesty. I can't go back. Pride swelled, yet fear lingered. Society won't let this last. One rainy evening, alone with my thoughts, I journaled. This love defies norms, but does that make it invalid? The question haunted, pushing emotions to new heights. Guilt transformed into a relentless storm. Every laugh with Mike a thunderclap of deceit. John's presence in my mind was constant. A bittersweet torment that made colors brighter yet shadows deeper. "I miss you," his text read one midnight, and I clutched my phone, torn between replying and deleting everything. The next meeting was charged with desperation. We met at a motel on the city's edge, neutral ground. No ties. "This has to end," John said immediately, but his eyes betrayed him, filled with longing. "Then why call me here?" I challenged, voice trembling. He paced the dim room, confessing deeper. "Because you're the first person who's made me question my entire life." Tears welled in me. "And you for me." We sat on the bed's edge, not touching, but the air hummed with unspoken desire. He shared stories from his youth. Crushes on teammates buried under machismo, marriages as shields. I thought I could outrun it. His vulnerability cracked me open. "I've hidden too," I admitted, recounting school bullies, the isolation of being the only out kid in my circle. But wait, I'm not out. Not fully. The hypocrisy stung. Preaching authenticity while lying to everyone. Internal war intensified. Hypocrite. Coward. Yet, in John's arms, metaphorically, as we kept boundaries, I felt whole. Leaving the motel, paranoia peaked. A car slowed nearby. Was it someone we knew? Heart racing, I ducked into shadows. At home, Mom noticed my pallor. "Everything okay?" I nodded, but inside screamed, "No, I'm falling for a man who could be my father." The age gap loomed larger now, societal judgments echoing. Pervert. Naive boy. But our connection transcended numbers. Shared pains, mutual growth. Mike's suspicion grew. During a game night, he cornered me. Dad's been happier lately. You know why? Innocence feigned, but sweat beaded. No clue. He eyed me. You're both acting strange. The accusation hung, unspoken. Guilt crushed. He's my brother. This betrayal is unforgivable. That night, I confronted John via call. Mike knows something. Silence, then. We stop now. But neither could. Emotions escalated at a family dinner Mike dragged me to. John avoided my gaze, but tension simmered. When Mike stepped out, John whispered, I can't do this to him. Hurt exploded. So it's over? He hesitated. For his sake. Rejection pierced deeper than expected. Driving home, tears blurred. Was it all a lie? My mind spiraled, used, discarded. Yet his pain was real too. But fate twisted again. John showed up at my door days later, rain-soaked. I can't stay away. We talked in my room, parents out, emotions raw. Society says no, but my heart says yes. I echoed the sentiment, but doubt whispered. At what cost? We pledged caution, but the pull was intoxicating. Community backlash loomed. At a local pride event I attended secretly, speakers railed against problematic relationships, age disparities in queer spaces. It hit home. Am I part of the problem? Internal conflict raged fiercer. Love shouldn't hurt like this. Yet denying it hurt more. Mike's confrontation came explosively. He found an old text on my phone. Careless mistake. You and my dad? His face contorted in betrayal. How could you? I stammered apologies, but he stormed out. The fallout devastated. Friendship shattered. John's call later. He knows. Sobs racked me. What now? In the wreckage, emotions peaked. Regret, love, defiance. John's support was my anchor, but the storm raged on. Betrayal's aftermath was a gaping wound. Mike's silence louder than any scream. John's attempts to reconcile with his son only widened the rift, leaving me isolated in a sea of self-loathing. This is my fault, I thought endlessly, replaying the discovery like a nightmare loop. John and I met in secret a park at dawn. Mike won't speak to me, he said, voice hollow. Guilt mirrored in his eyes. We did this. I nodded, tears streaming. But was it worth it? He pulled me into a hug, our first real one since the blow-up, whispering, You are. Warmth clashed with despair. How can love cause such pain? Internal torment amplified, destroyer of families. Yet his embrace promised redemption. Mike's anger manifested in school avoidance, whispers spreading. Heard about Alex and Coach Thompson? Rumors twisted facts, predator, homewrecker. I endured stares, isolation deepening. At home, parents sensed trouble. Talk to us, Dad urged. But coming out now, amid scandal? Impossible. Loneliness crushed. Why pursue this? Society's right, it's toxic. John faced worse. Colleagues questioned his coaching role. Age gap raises eyebrows, a principal hinted. He confided over coffee. Might lose my job. Horror struck me. Because of me? He shook his head. Because of us. But I'd choose you again. Romance amid ruin, poetic, tragic. Emotions surged. Defiance against the world. A heated argument with Mike ensued when he finally confronted. You're sick. Both of you. He yelled at John's house. I intervened. It's not like that. We care. Care? You're my age. Pain etched his face. Dad, how could you? John broke down. I love him, son. The admission hung, seismic. Mike fled, leaving us in shards. Post-confession, emotions rawer. John's love declaration ignited hope, but Mike's loss extinguished it. Internal dialogue screamed. Worthy of love? Or destroyer? We navigated fallout, therapy suggested, but privacy paramount. Community divided. Some supported love is love. Others decried, inappropriate. Online forums buzzed. Our story leaked anonymously. Hate mail arrived. Disgusting. Support too. Age is just a number. Polarization fueled debate, mirroring my turmoil. John's ex re-entered, offering Mike solace, poisoning him further. She's saying I'm unstable, John lamented. Jealousy mixed with sympathy. Fight for us. We did, but exhaustion set in. One night, alone, I pondered. Does society dictate love's boundaries? The question burned, emotions at fever pitch. The scandal's climax shattered illusions, Mike's ultimatum forcing choices that tore at our souls. Choose him or me, he demanded of John over a tense dinner. John's face paled, eyes flicking to me. I can't lose you, son. The words gutted me, betrayal's knife twisting deeper than before. I fled the house, rain mingling with tears, mind a whirlwind. Abandoned. Foolish. But John's chase caught me blocks away. Wait. Soaked, he grabbed my arm. I choose you, us, but I need time with Mike. Hope flickered amid despair. And if he never forgives? He sighed. Then we build anew. Vulnerability peaked, our bond tested to breaking. Mike's response. Disownment threats moving to his mom's. You're dead to me. John's sobs that night haunted. Father's love clashing with romantic. I comforted him, roles reversed. We'll endure. But doubt whispered. At what price? Internal agony crescendoed. Sacrificing family for love? Selfish? Noble? Society's backlash intensified. Petitions to fire John. My school expulsion whispers. We faced a town meeting, accusations flying. Predatory, one shouted. John defended. Consensual adults. I added, voice shaking. Love defies labels. Boos and cheers erupted. Division stark. In quiet moments we reflected. Regret? I asked. Only the pain caused. His honesty soothed, but scars remained. Emotions overwhelmed. Love's joy tainted by loss. Reconciliation attempts with Mike failed repeatedly. His anger unyielding. You stole my dad. Guilt eternal. Yet John and I grew closer, planning futures, moving away, starting fresh. As dust settled, questions lingered. Was our love justified? Society evolved slowly, but our story sparked debates. Age gaps in queer relationships, consent versus taboo. In the end, we stood together, resilient. But one query haunts. Is it morally right for love to cross generational lines when it risks destroying family bonds?